A website's just a set of related web pages served from a single domain or place. It can be accessed via a network like the internet, and all publicly accessible websites collectively constitute the World Wide Web. Contributing to the World Wide Web is very easy through social media, but for your projects, what you contribute to the web, given you have time to really develop a site, can be a lot more engaging for your audience than just text. Popular site makers like WordPress or Tumult's Hype allow for significant interaction between you and the users. So how do you do this in the most engaging way? Well, most importantly, the design of a successful website is not simply visual or functional. It involves connecting with the user's goals and, more importantly, their emotions, and fulfilling a promise. What emotions do they want to feel? Happiness is obvious, but nostalgia, pride, what else could they want to achieve by seeing your project? Emotions engage, and a simple way to begin thinking about your site would be to force your audience to interact with the screen on the most emotional section of your site. Parents are very much aware of the purpose of this trip. They want to see you being active with the Broken Hill community. Look for ways to be aspirational in your design. Show them that you've built meaning with the community and you have an emotional connection to the people of Broken Hill. Express connections that go beyond the project to broader issues, to global issues, or to your own lives post-school or post-graduation. One simple way to spark emotions like curiosity, surprise, imagination is to go beyond the obvious and efficient, being not only original but promising more than what is expected. Fortunately, a lot of parents are unfamiliar with easy-to-use website making tools, and they're naturally curious to explore these as a result. Also, fortunately for you, you have access to new technologies in your iPads or the school's new tools like the 3D printer or the laser cutter, and there's lots of other software tools that your parents would not have explored as well. You can explore any one of those tools to spark curiosity with your parents. Once your project is decided, the first step to engagement is through enticement, the initial contact between the potential audience members and yourself. That could be through advertisement before your presentation night, or in the first instance of your audience seeing the presentation on the night. The key to enticement is to first get your audience's attention, then make a promise which you'll later fulfill. The promise is the key, and it needs to be clear from the first viewing. Most people assume that engagement comes through lots of movement on a screen, like an animation or a bright set of colors or audio and video that will entice audience members, and in some cases that's true. But ultimately, to satisfy someone who engages with a site for more than 5 seconds, you need to go beyond their expectations. The interface of the site itself can be loud, soft, beautiful, or ugly, but it has to differentiate itself from both its competition and also its surroundings or its environment, the context in which the site was created. As this is a student presentation for MLC, for it to be seductive, it has to look non-student-like and not be branded with student terminology or MLC schema. The content of successful websites itself usually is created with one of these 4 approaches in mind. The first one is to be task-oriented, so for them to complete a single task by engaging with the site. What task do you want them to complete? And more importantly, why are they completing this task? Tasks like search, find, evaluate, learn, explore, analyze. These are all valid tasks that websites can be used to engage with. But creating is the most interactive tool. What can your parents create as a result of seeing your experiences? Number 2 is an immersion-oriented website. immersing a parent in your experiences or a particular problem associated with Broken Hill is a very valuable way to allow an audience to explore. Google Earth, some games, this particular website here are some very addictive ways to immerse someone in an environment. The third successful design might be information oriented. This is very common for student and teacher centered products, but ask yourself, is this what your audience wants? Will this differentiate you from all the other groups and all the other projects that have existed in Broken Hill history? The final task design that you might choose is a goal-directed one. That involves, first of all, identifying a user's goal on each page, de-emphasizing or removing any elements or areas of a site that don't help to accomplish that goal, and emphasizing or inserting links, forms, or other elements that either take users closer to their goal or finally accomplish it. The most important thing, as I said before, was the promise that your site makes. The site can make any promise, from being interesting or being exciting or being beautiful, but the more closely it connects with an audience's aspirations, the deeper the connection between you and the audience will be. For instance, a parent will generally pay attention to their daughter's experiences without the need to distract them with loud or animated introductions, but maintaining a parent's attention through a 4-page information-centered website might not be so easy if they have no relationship with you. This is where interaction can be helpful. So, interactivity, what is it? Well, what we think of as interaction is not really that interactive if you think about your own understanding of interaction with a website. Simply clicking on something is not really that immersive an experience. Take this website as an example. There's no set task for the user. They can wander, they can get lost in the environment, they can click on nearly every object they meet, and that's what immersion is. You can't program for a crazy website like this. This is a professional's work over a number of months, but you can still use the concepts of it to create your own interactive experience. If you really want something to be interactive, it has to give something back to the audience. It's a dialogue. So you need to write content for some sort of choice. What will that choice be? It might be a test, it could be a form, it could be a game, or it could be a conversation. A strong website will lead the audience to discover something deeper than what you expected. The final step in an engagement is to end it, although that might not be necessary. Succinct summaries of the fulfillment of your promise is a good way to think about it though.